Bates Motel Season 3, Episode 5, The Deal. This was a great episode for Norma. Like, she had some really crazy stuff going on. She had, like, amazingly strong moments in this episode. Two of them that were really great. One was, really great, but also really funny because I don't think things went as well as she thought they did during that deal. And then, of course, we have the end of the episode, which I thought was really awesome because I feel like they did a little bit of foreshadowing in this episode where Norman had one of his sort of crazy fugue moments where he kind of blacked out and he thought he told Norma what happened, but he didn't. And when he has the conversation with Caleb later in the episode, he mentions that when he told Norma, she kind of walked off without saying anything, and he doesn't know why she acted as if she didn't hear it. And I thought it was kind of cool that in the end of the episode, when they actually told her, that's kind of what happened. She stared, she got up, and she walked off as if she hadn't even heard a thing. And then, of course, when we see her upstairs, that's when we really get all the reaction. But like those first 5 seconds, or really, like I think it was may have been like 10 seconds long. She's just sitting there. She says nothing to them, and she just backs away from the table and walks off and goes upstairs. And all those moments for her character were definitely great. Like she had a really strong moment with Romero when she went to his house and she was saying like I'm not giving up on this. I finally have something. I have some form of power in this city. I'm not gonna get torn down by the next crappy thing to happen to me and my family. And she took that fervor and vigor and she took it to this meeting with the guy, and it seemed to go well. Like I said, it was really quick. He was like, I gotta say you got me. And he's smiling and stuff, and I just can't trust that. Like I know she's smiling because she's kind of happy. Like, all right, it worked. No problem. We came to an agreement. He's gonna, do a exit ramp to my hotel. Two giant signs. We'll be fine, even with this crazy highway going up. And I just don't. That's just not what's gonna happen. I know things are gonna get really bad for her, and Norman and Caleb too. Like things are just gonna get really bad for all of them. Cause this guy, he's gonna send his people back. I have to assume. If he doesn't do that, he's gonna do something. He's gonna try to go directly to Norma. He's going to follow Norma or have someone else do it and figure out, the next step for him to not have to follow this little agreement that he made. And he's gonna probably find out who Caleb is. He's gonna have someone follow Caleb, someone follow Norman, maybe even have someone follow Emma. Like, who do these people talk to? And then, go from there. Who do these people talk to and stuff like that? And just try to figure out who do we need to take out in order for this not to keep spreading. So I don't think things went as well as she thought they did. The guy was just like, all right, like, yeah, it's a good deal. And then he kind of looked at Romero and in his face, it was kind of like, he's smiling, but all I was thinking is like, this guy has to just be thinking in his head, like, oh, okay, I'm going to kill you too. I'm going to kill both of you guys and then I'll be done with this. Like, great. And that's just what I was thinking the entire time they were talking. Like, he's just going to be, he was just thinking, like, I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill Romero because he screwed up. I'm going to have this other guy replace him. And I'm going to have a great life. In, like, 4 months, things are going to be perfect. And they're both going to be dead. Like, that's just what I feel like was going through that guy's head. But it was still a great moment for Norma. We even had a moment with her and the teacher where she kind of talks with him, and we find out that he's very open about things and he reveals a lot to her. And she flat out asks him, like, are you attracted to me and stuff like that. So this was a great Norma-focused episode, which I figured it would be with the way the last episode ended. I was surprised that it did happen the way that it did, where Norman actually didn't tell her. He thought he did, and he was just having one of his crazy moments, and had, of course, a weird like it's Norman Bates, but he had a weird moment when he realized that he didn't actually tell Norma the secret of about Caleb, and it's I don't know, it's gonna be weird. Like he had a weird thing. He sniffed the dress. The way they filmed it, where he kind of shoved it under there, and it didn't exactly work. He didn't like shove it all the way in, and it was kind of hanging out a little bit. I feel like they're gonna have something on that where it's like someone's gonna come in his room, and it's like I'm looking around or cleaning or whatever, and here's this random thing like, why is this blue dress like under under this bed, and it's gonna be another weird moment. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen with them, or whatever. I don't know. It was just it was a weird Norman Bates moment, and the ending was definitely cool where they're like Norman and Dylan. I called him Caleb earlier. I meant to say Dylan the very first time, but they've realized that Norma is freaking out about the information from Caleb, or about Caleb, and I don't know where the heck she's going. Like, I don't know where she could possibly be going, unless she's going to Romero, which may or may not happen. I mean, they've had their moments where it's like they could get together, but they kind of don't because of all the weird stuff happening, it seems. And I love also, I love the way he kept looking at her during the meeting where she's like, I want this, this, and this, and and then when she threw in the pool thing, and it was like, nothing crazy, just like, 20 by 40 feet with a jacuzzi in it, or with the jacuzzi, he was just like, what is she doing? Like, we're gonna get shot in this office right now. But I feel like that's the only place she could be going. I don't know where else, unless she just drives around the city at night or something. But she drives out. There's a huge spectacle. Emma sees it. Dylan has to hold Norman back. Norman obviously freaking out that his mother's leaving, and he yells "mother." It's like the end of the episode. But it was a great one. It was definitely a cool episode. I don't know exactly how things are going to play out now that she's made this deal and revealed the fact that she has this flash drive, because he hired two people to go into the hotel when he assumed that she had it, just to go in and see if she did. They broke into the hotel for that, or the motel just for that, and now that he knows, things are going to be a lot worse. Like, it's not going to be this beautiful deal that they made and it's just going to be magic. It's going to be a lot of issues. They're going to most likely kill this guy by the end of the season. Or Romero's going to shoot him. Norma might shoot him. Dylan might even do it in this. But there are going to be some issues happening. Caleb may or may not also be sticking around because he's going to get a new job from his insanely awkward neighbor who constantly, like, points guns at him. Like, he always seems like he's about to shoot Caleb. Every time he's in the scene, it's like he's pointing a gun straight at him. And then it's like, Caleb's like, don't point that at me. And he's like, okay. And it's like, what is wrong with this guy? He's got, like, rabbits around him. He's talking about nothing in life can make things better except for board jerky. And he's just, like, a weird guy. Like, I don't know what's happening. I was reading some of the tweets or not tweets, but comments, because I'm watching it on Hulu because I'm so far behind. And someone mentioned that the neighbor seems like he's coming straight out of Twin Peaks, which I thought was pretty perfect. Like, he's just a weird character. And if anyone hasn't seen Twin Peaks, basically it's just like a weird comedy. It's like an old comedy show, or it's like a comedy drama type thing, so revolving around this murder. But everyone's like just really awkward and weird. Like, the dialogue is just like really weird, and like people are just have really weird personalities. Or it's like they do stuff where, in any normal situation, like you pointing a gun at me for the second time, it's like, I can't trust you. And then like a minute later, you're talking about how life sucks, but the only thing that makes it better is jerky. That's weird. That doesn't make any sense. And then you offer me a job. That's fairly normal, but that guy's just a weird character. Like, I like the character because he's weird. I feel like this kind of eased the tension for me seeing his character, because I honestly thought he was still dangerous, especially the introduction again in this episode where he he sees Caleb like hitting the tree, which I thought was actually a really well done scene. But we see him after he finds Caleb and he's pointing the gun at him. It's like it rises the tension. Like, every time I see him, I think he's really dangerous to Caleb, and at this point manipulative to Dylan. But once Caleb's out of the way, he'll be dangerous to Dylan too. And then in this episode, it was like he's like helping him out and stuff. He's like, I know he's being weird with the jerky thing, but he offers him a job and stuff and says like, I think you'd be good for it. And he offers him a job. And it was like, okay, it kind of, for me at least, it eases my ideas, like this guy is gonna be an issue and try to kill them or something, because he actually offered him a job. So it kind of changed my opinion of him, because he was a weird character who came in, like the whole dog thing. Like, he didn't need to do that. There was no real reason for him to do that, but he did it anyway to kind of mess with him. And, it just made me not like him. It was like he lied and he tried to freak Dylan out and all this extra stuff. So it makes him a weird character. And it made him seem like he was going to end up being dangerous. And now it's a little different. So I'm feeling a little better about him, but he's still incredibly weird. So I don't really know if he's a good guy or not. Like, we'll still have to wait and see. But I love this episode. That was a cool little moment just to, even if things between Dylan and Caleb kind of separate, because Dylan does want to keep the good relationship that he has with Norma, if he can at this point. Even if that happens and they end up separating, Caleb will still be able to make money from their neighbor, and he'll, most likely just find a different place to live because he'll have money again. So a great way to keep him in the series, and a great way to have him there as this physical point of tension if, maybe Norma runs into him like they almost did a few episodes ago. So I don't know how it's really going to play out. I don't know where the heck Norma's going. If she's not going to Romero's house, I don't know where she could possibly end up. And if it's not Romero's house, I kind of feel like she might just get found randomly on the road or something. Maybe she's already being followed. Who knows? But I love this episode, of course. I want to know what you guys thought about it, though. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And what do you guys think is going to happen with this deal that Norma made with the guy who's obviously like the villain of this season? He's like the main issue that they're going to be having, aside from, this future highway. This guy is currently the problem. He's killed 2 women, one of which gave this obviously important thumb drive to Norma. And now he knows that she has it. He knows that she has the information off of it. Things aren't going to go, smooth like she thinks they are. So I want to know what you guys think is going to happen out of that. So please comment below, let me know. And thanks for watching.